series of Google Calendar tips that I think you are going to love. And really, they're going to help you maximize this amazing tool. Each of the tips that I share with you, I use on a regular basis. So I know they work and I know how helpful they are. In our first session, we are going to be talking about calendar basics and really just getting you familiar with some of the things you can do at that basic level, like setting up multiple calendars, why you want to do that, maybe a little bit about color coding as well. Then I'm going to share how do you set up an event from email. Really important, again, just to keep you as very productive as you're going through your email. And finally, how can you set up the view of your calendar, meaning how you're looking at your calendar, so that it meets your needs and keeps you focused? So, in this first session, if these are things that are important to you, you are going to want to continue to listen because I'm going to dive deep, I'm going to go live and really show you how to utilize these things. So, if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So here we are in Google Calendar. I've just put a mock calendar together for you so that we can really play a little bit together. And in this particular calendar, again, in our session, we're going to be talking about setting up different calendars. All right. So you will always have your basic calendar, and that will be shown at the top of your list here. This is the default to whatever you're scheduling. But setting up multiple calendars can really help you keep things organized so that you can turn these calendars on and off as you need them. Let me give you an example. I've got a calendar down here and it's called projects. Projects are really those things that I'm working on that I want to be able to carve out time on my calendar to be able to work on them. Right. So, they're a little bit more in depth, etc. So, by setting up a separate calendar, what you're going to see is I can actually visually take some time in my calendar to be able to get these done. So let's say on Thursday, the 29th at 10 a.m., I want to work on a specific project. I can go right here to the calendar. I could say work on project. And let's say I want to do that for an hour, right? Now, here's the beautiful thing. You can come right down to where it says whatever you've named your main calendar. When you click on that, there's the project's calendar. Great, right? I can go ahead and choose that. You will notice the default here says busy. Maybe I want to keep it busy so that nobody else schedules anything at that time on my schedule, or I can also set it to free if I want it to, just be a placeholder in the calendar. I'm going to go ahead and set that to free and then go ahead and save. Now, what you'll notice, I have actually color coded this calendar so that it sticks out to me. Everything else are my meetings and things that I have planned. I've color coded this so that, again, it draws my eye. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, ooh, that's what I need to be doing at 10 o'clock, right? In order to set up this project's calendar, all I did was, if you come down to the bottom, you'll see where it says other calendars. You click on the plus and create new calendar. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to give the calendar a name. So let's call this projects 2. I'm going to go ahead and create the calendar, and it is going to automatically give it a color, right? So you'll see it has a color over here. What I can do is when I'm back in my main calendar, I can go down to projects 2 and I can click on these 3 dots open those up and you will notice there are all the different colors there. So I could choose an additional color to be able to utilize this. Let's say projects 1 are those really hot projects and projects 2 aren't as important projects. So I make that a little different shade. Now, let's say on the 29th, when I want to work on projects from projects 2, I'll say work on projects from project 2, and I'm going to do that for an hour. I come back down here, I go to projects 2, I'm going to mark that as free again, save, and now you can see how that color coding is really helping me determine, kind of how I might use my time. If I get a request in from somebody, I may say, you know what, I can't talk with you between 10 and 11, but I may be able to talk to you between 11 and 12, depending on what this project work is. So it's helping me make decisions. Now, you don't have to go to that level as far as projects 1, projects 2. You can create whatever extra calendars make sense to you. But these are, again, some things to be able to think about. The other calendar that I'll create is actually a personal calendar. And what I'll do with the personal calendar is in there, I will put all of those other things that need to happen. I've mocked up a couple of things here, like getting the kids ready for school, dropping the kids off at school, picking the kids up, etc. But what this does, again, it overlays in my calendar. So when I need to look at it, I can keep it on if it's good for me to keep it on, but I can also turn it off. Let's say when I just want to focus on my appointments or whatever. And again, I can do the same thing with my projects, right? My projects things. Now, one of the things I will tell you is if you're going to build these extra calendars, really start to set a routine for yourself as far as, kind of what calendars you want on, what calendars you want off. Just again, so that, if I have projects here and I've dedicated some time, but I'm not pulling them up on a regular basis, then I might actually book some things here. And once again, then it's kind of a moot point. All right. So that's setting up additional calendars and color coding. The second thing was setting up an event from an email. So I'm going to go over to my Gmail, and I sent myself a message here just for an illustration. And I read this and I'm like, you know what? I really need to set up an appointment with myself, but you know what I mean. So what I'll do is actually come to the three dots again, click on that, and you will notice that it says create an event. I will go over there. It's going to create the event for me. It's going to utilize the information from the subject line, and it will actually pull in everything from the email down here. So I don't have to copy and paste anything. This is great if you have a chain of emails and you want to capture some things. What I would say is you probably want to clean up some of your notes here. I don't need all of this additional information, so I could just go ahead and delete some of these notes, etc., so that they, just to, again, keep it as clean as possible. I can go ahead and set the date like I normally would. Let's say we're going to have this on August 29th from 3 to 4:30. Go ahead and set that. And then, it will be on that calendar. So we'll go back over to that calendar. All right. And there's that appointment there. So very, very easy to do, makes it really nice to be able to set up those appointments right from email. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is just really how to structure your view so that it meets your needs. This is the default view, what you're seeing here. So I've turned off weekends here, right? So I have Monday through Friday. If you come up here, you can show weekends if I wanted to add the weekends in there. For us, we're going to keep weekends off. But let's say you want to change this up a little bit. One of the things that you can do if you come to these 3 lines is you can actually hide all of those calendars. So if I have the calendars up that I need to be seeing, I can hide those. And again, it just gives me a little bit cleaner view. If I need to look at the full month, I can click up here. I've got the month and I can advance the months, to look at whatever else I need to look at. So that's one version of being able to tailor how you look at your calendar. Another way to tailor how you look at your calendar is, let's say I only want to look at a few days at a time. I don't want to look at everything all at once. I can come up here to this version of the calendar. So I've turned my list back on and I'm looking at this view of the calendar. I can go ahead and click on the date and then drag my cursor across. And now I'm only seeing those 3 days. All right. And again, this might be perfect because you don't need to see the whole week. You only need to see a few days. If I wanted to just look at 2 days, I could look at 2 days. So again, this might be helpful for you. It makes it really easy to switch views. If I want to go back to 5 days, I can go back to 5 days. What you can also see here is you can do a day, you can do your week. There's my week. You can do a month, you can do a year, or you can do a schedule. So if this helps you, you could actually look at it in schedule format. Whatever works for you is, I'll put that out there. But I tend to have the full week, the full work week in front of me at all times. And that way, then I can see into the future as well as whatever I'm doing now. So I hope that these tips are helpful for you. Be on the lookout. We have part 2 coming shortly. And there we're going to cover some more tips to be able to help you, really talking about some of those unconventional calendars that you might consider adding. So again, my name is Jen Vondenbrink. It has been great to be with you today. I'm so happy that you stopped by. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out and you can check out more resources on my website at jenvondenbrink.com. Take care.